スーパーレディオブラザーズ
It's time for the Super Radio Brothers. I think the one just had an accident.
Yes, the Super Radio Brothers. We are back, if there was any doubt. Broadcasting from strategic locations all across the empire. It is the Super Radio Brothers. Trent, what is up? Happy SRB Day.
Yeah, happy SRB Day, happy end of the month of June, happy summer because the summer solstice was on Tuesday. So, you know, it was the longest day of the year. Did you know that it was the longest day of the year on Tuesday? Could you feel it there, sir?
Tuesday. You know what? Tuesday felt like a normal day. I had no idea, Trent. I don't know. The Earth didn't tell me anything. I missed it on Google somehow. I had no idea that Tuesday was the longest day of the year. Did it feel long to you?
You're oblivious to a lot of things, but I figured that because summer was one of your favorite seasons, I had a feeling that you would be all over that one.
No. I knew that June 21st was the official first day of summer, and today you really felt it because we had triple digits. The side. I was frying an egg on my sidewalk, Trent, and I actually ate it, and it was delicious.
Oh, good for you.
It was like an ant omelet. You know, there were some ants and a little grass. Fertilizer. It's not a good idea.
That's very appetizing. I hope you're not planning on eating after listening to this program because, you know, you might have just lost your appetite.
This is the longest beginning of any Super Radio Brothers show now. You know, it's worse than the longest day. I don't know what's going on.
I know. I love it, though, because, hey, it's summertime. It's summertime. You get in your pool. You can, swim, have a nice time, do whatever. Just as long as you stay hydrated out there. Because
summertime in the living's easy. Bradley on the microphone with Ross MG. Right, Trent? Yes.
Well, that's Billy Stewart did a great song of that version of that back in the '60s. So that's the version I think. You know, summertime and the living is easy.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm thinking about Sublime.
Of course you are.
And she's my Ruka. Come on, you don't know about that? What's going on over here?
No, I know it. Yeah, it's. I just like the version I talked about better.
Oh, I like my song better. So you could take yours and shove it, buddy. I don't like it at all. Well, Trent, do you like news? Huh?
I do like news.
Do you like to be informed?
I like to be informed. Do you like to be informed?
I do, but don't expect that on this show. Yes, from this hell we call Earth, it is the news.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Before we start,
all right.
I came up with a brilliant idea. You know, I come up with those every now and then.
I am shocked.
I know. Me too. But
brilliant idea from Trent.
You know,
I'll be the judge of that, sir.
We call this the poop news.
Uh-huh.
But I really think it should be labeled the rich news. I think we should label it the rich news because I think that would be a lot more.
Are you trying to say that my name is synonymous with poop, Trent?
You can deduce that for your own self. But,
that is a low blow. That is a low blow. And I am a master in the art of observation and deduction. And I do deduce that you have just tried to insult me, sir.
I thought it'd give everybody a laugh. You know,
I
know it gives one person who's listening a laugh, but they will remain nameless.
Oh, it's probably you.
Yeah,
you're laughing right now. I know it, but yes, it is the news, and there is a lot of poop in the poop news today. And this guy, imagine this guy was your neighbor, Trent. Do you have good neighbors, by the way? Do you like your neighbors?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any issue with my neighbors. They're real nice guys. They and gals, you know, they're ladies that live over there, and really nice men too. And yeah, they're extremely nice people. They've been nothing but kind to my family and I. So yeah, I mean, nothing has led me to believe that I should have a problem with them.
So I'm pretty sure Kenneth Clark, a Clearwater man, from Florida. Kenneth Clark, 64 years old. He's not your neighbor because you know what he did? He walked
What did he
into
do?
his neighbor's driveway in his birthday suit. Do you know what a birthday suit is?
I know what a birthday suit is, and why would he be walking in his neighbor's
No, I'm serious.
driveway
I don't
with
know what a
birth-
birthday suit is. Do you know what a birthday suit is?
What's that?
I said, I don't know what a birthday suit is. Tell me what a birthday suit is.
It's hard to explain. I'll let you figure it out for yourself. But
It's hard to explain. Well, he
Yeah.
showed up in his I'm assuming it's this guy's birthday. He showed up in his birthday suit, and he relieved himself on the neighbor's glass patio table. Just started peeing on their table. It was probably a nice table. Got it from IKEA. A couple $100. You don't want some 64-year-old dude peeing on your table. Not that it makes a difference that he was 64, but come on, this dude's in his birthday suit. He's 64 years old. He comes over. He's peeing on your table. And not only, Trent, that's not the best part of this story. Although I don't know how you could say it's the best part of any story. It's the most horrific part. But even more horrific maybe is the fact that not only was this caught on the home security camera, all right, not only did they catch it on video, but they got two different angles of it.
really,
Two different angles. And for that alone, I think he should get extra time in jail because that's offensive.
well, let me tell you, man. Speaking of IKEA, you can buy some interesting stuff in there, man. And their stuff is good too. I mean, it's high priced, some of it, but some of that stuff you can have around your house for 10 to 15 years. Now, that coffee table is the exception because if somebody relieved themselves on it, I think it's who knows? It might have some stains in it. By the time it's probably done, it's probably
Yeah, we
toast.
buy this chair from IKEA and pee on it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not cool, dude.
That's the ticket. That's the way to throw money away.
Yeah. Do you realize I bought this at IKEA and you just peed on it?
And now, I mean, everything can be caught on security camera these days. It seems like everybody's got those rings, and they got the all different kind of security systems that they're recording not just video, but your audio as well. So you have to be careful with what you say. Anything you say is recorded. If you come to my house, Rich, anything you say, if you're outside, will pick up on that security camera. So you better watch out.
Oh my goodness, that's incredibly scary. Big Brother is watching. It's all over. But two different angles on the security video. There's already a TikTok. It's crazy. And basically, this dude was still. The cops show up. They show the cops the video. Then they go to his RV, and he opens the door a little bit, and he's still naked. So this
Whoa.
dude doesn't like wearing clothes. He was visibly naked and highly uncooperative, Trent. I don't know. Can you be visibly naked and cooperative in this situation?
I would not think so. But here's
Cops
my
show
question.
up. Yeah.
Here's my question. Did the story say how much alcohol this guy had? Because this had to have been triggered by the precipitating event here. Had to have been how much alcohol this guy had in his system.
Well, this happened at 4:40 in the afternoon, and I think this was just Kenneth Clark being Kenneth Clark. Just doing him.
4:40
being
in the
himself.
afternoon is pretty late in the day. You could be six sheets to the wind by that time.
That's true. He might be trashed, but I don't know. Something tells me there's something else wrong with this guy.
I wouldn't know because I don't drink.
But you do poop and you do pee,
I mean-
so you know what it would be like to pee on your neighbor's table and to know that that's wrong.
Correct. Yeah, that's
Right?
wrong. That's just morally and utterly wrong.
And that should be obvious. But this dude is 64 years old. Like, Trent, you're a younger dude. You came over, you peed on my table. I'd be like, well, Trent's a little younger. He doesn't know any better. But this dude's 64 years old. He should know better.
I think, yes, I am a younger dude, but I'm 23, soon to be 24. So I would think if I didn't know any better whenever I was 23 or 24,
Yeah.
then something's really, really wrong
That's
with
true.
me. I mean, now I could understand if I was, 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 years old, but like once you turn 9, 10, you ought to know by now that you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, you shouldn't pee on the neighbor's table. Come on, you got to know better than that. And you know what this was pretty interesting to me as well, Trent. So dude is he's out on bond. His bond is he's not out on bond. He's in jail. How much do you think bond is, Trent? Get out of jail for peeing on the table.
I'd say it's over. I wouldn't think he would have a bond.
Yeah, you should just rot in there, right?
I don't know about that.
Oh,
but
throw away
yeah.
a key. He peed on the table. Do you know how disrespectful that is? No, he
Yeah,
the bond on this incident is $250. Does that seem fair?
I mean, put a couple of extra zeros on there and make it 250,000. You know, put 3 more zeros on there. As a matter of fact, you know, you got $250,000. Not many people are able to pay that much. Not many people have that in their bank accounts.
You know what? I guarantee you that patio table is worth more than $250.
Oh, absolutely. What they should do is make the bond the price that the owners paid for the patio table.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's the old eye for an eye. I don't know, does that make sense? Yep. It's got to be the way to go. It's got to be the way. Anyway, what a neighbor. What a great neighbor. Can you imagine?
Absolutely. What a great neighbor.
Like a good neighbor, Kenneth Clark is there.
Ha 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 ha. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, now we continue with more toilet news. Oh. You know, rich news. A 3-year-old who was potty training accidentally got a toilet seat stuck on her head. Can you believe this?
That's not good training. Those are terrible parents. What are you talking about? They were potty training her, and somehow her head got in the toilet. She's backwards.
Well, she was in the process of using the facilities, and she yelled for her mother to come and see what was happening. Well, her mother walked in the room and couldn't help but to laugh because she saw the toilet seat stuck over her head. At first, she thought, it's okay. I can get this off with no problem. You know, 3-year-olds do some things that are strange. You know, so they do the unthinkable sometimes, but it's just the toilet seat over her head, huh? You know, it's okay. But apparently she wasn't able to because she had to take her daughter to the emergency room. Well, the emergency room staff got the biggest laugh that they've gotten in quite some time because it took them over an hour to get the toilet seat off of this girl's head.
Why would they laugh? It sounds like a horrible experience for the little girl. Those people are horrible.
I know. It sounds very horrible. You know, imagine just sitting there. But my question is, how did it get over your head? Like, if you're using the restroom, you're sitting on the toilet seat itself. Like, how? I don't understand. I can't wrap my mind around it.
That's what I'm saying. She got it all wrong. She's backwards. It's terrible parental training. It's just a complete failure of the process. I don't know what happened there.
Unless she was like puking or something, but that didn't sound like that's what she was doing.
She doesn't even, Trent, the kid doesn't even know how to use the toilet to poop in. How is she going to know how to use it to throw up in?
Well, she
hasn't gotten that training yet.
Exactly, and it doesn't sound like she's getting training in general because
when does vomit training begin? That's a good question. You know, you got potty training.
Yeah, when does the training begin? Yeah, did you ever? I know that whenever you were 3 years old, that was a very long time ago. You know, but I have to ask you. I mean, I know the answer is going to be no, but did you ever, you know, you didn't get the toilet seat stuck over your head, but did you ever have any like weird incidents like that kind of happened or similar to that?
I was more of the action kid. I required many stitches on my forehead because I kept climbing to heights and falling and jumping on beds and banging my head against, which explains a lot, night tables. So I got a... I was always hurting myself badly because I was very adventurous. I was very adventurous, Trent.
Well, sure. I mean, hey, it's okay to be adventurous. Just don't hurt yourself while in the process.
Oh, yeah. I hurt myself. It was a constant thing. I remember one time I was running around the park like a little idiot, and my mom's like, "It's time to go." And just 5 more minutes. You used to do that when you were a kid. Just 5 more minutes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm running, and boom! I ran smack into a pole. my face right into a pole. It had the huge black eye. It was so gnarly looking that the school.
Gnarly. I hadn't heard that word in quite some
How
time.
dare
That's
you, Trent?
gnarly, dude.
How dare you, Trent? That a rancid looking, grotesque. It just had such a bad look that the school actually was questioning my family about maybe I was being abused. That's how bad my face looked after running into a pole, if you can believe it.
Hey, whenever we were kids, we tried to get everything we could out of our parents. Hey, let's do this. You have to do this now. I was always the 5 more minute person. I was even 2 more minutes sometimes. Like there would be times where I wouldn't want to get out of the pool as a kid, and my mom was like, "Okay, Trent, time to get out." And I'm like, "Mom, can you give me like 2 more minutes, please? Like this water feels so good. I mean, I can't get out. Having a good time." And then there was one time where she wasn't putting up with it, and she said, "If you don't get out right now, we won't be back here." So as soon as she said that, I ran about as fast as a kid could run, getting out of the pool and doing all that. But I was adventurous too. I mean, as an individual who could not see, I was not scared of trying things new. Put it that way.
I'll tell you this, Trent. For that family and the kid that got her head stuck in the toilet seat, potty training not going well. Again, a failure by the parents to accomplish this simple exercise. Trent, what do you think, judging by how well potty training went for this child, do you think school is going to go much better?
I would be saying some prayers if I were those parents.
There are clearly some issues there. They got it all wrong. They got it all wrong. Maybe the kid might end up in a boarding school. Maybe, how about this one, Trent? Students at a Christian boarding school were made to roll around in camel dung to build character. That makes sense, I think. But this is too far. And forced to eat moldy beans as punishment, the lawsuit claims. This is terrible. Students accuse Agape Boarding School and the Agape Church of negligence, battery by staff and fellow students, torture and starvation, according to legal documents obtained by the Daily Mail. One of the mothers says, "I remember him telling me it was normal how he and other kids had been dragged out of bed at nighttime, in the middle of the night, in the Ozark winter. And anyone who's seen Ozark on Netflix knows how cold it can get."
Oh, okay? Yeah.
So Ozark, dragging them out into the night in the Ozark winter and forced to roll around in, quote, camel muck. He said, "That's where I got pink eye." He was told that it builds his character. Fernandez, another, look at this. As a form of punishment, kids were fed special food, a soggy tortilla on a wet cookie tray. I'm going to throw up with smeared, moldy, refried beans. And you had
I don't like refried beans when they're cooked right, but still, nevertheless, moldy.
A soggy tortilla on a wet cookie tray. Yep, I'm gonna throw up. Oh no. If they threw up, they still had to eat it. And if they didn't, that's what they had for dinner. That's it, and they're being starved. They said the so-called animal therapy never happened. In fact, the only animals they were allowed to interact with were the horses and a young German shepherd who was later shot and killed for misbehaving. What a school. So I guess part of the they say, oh, there's going to be animal therapy at this boarding school. And they only had some horses and a German shepherd that was shot and killed, Trent, for misbehaving. What a boarding school. Can you imagine?
No, I cannot imagine. I mean, I did go to boarding school myself, but it was nothing at all, not even remotely close to what these individuals had to deal with. Now, I went to boarding school, and they made us eat food that we didn't like. And yes, there were times where, you would see kids at the table. If they had to eat like a vegetable they didn't like, you would see kids, kind of puke, or not puke, but kind of gag, if you will. And the dorm staff would say, okay, if you got to eat this, and if you don't get dessert. That was the punishment. You wouldn't necessarily get in trouble, but you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't get in trouble in that. I mean, that might send you to bed early if you just refuse to eat something. But in terms of the main punishment was not eating dessert. You wouldn't have to roll around in dung, or you wouldn't have to you do that. There would be no shooting. There was no shooting at all at this school. So I mean, it just my boarding school experience does not at all do this experience justice at this agape school. Now, you talk about the word agape. The word agape means like brotherly love. So that this is kind of an oxymoron, yes?
Oh yeah, that's I don't get it. It's that's definitely not brotherly love. It's false advertising. Not only do you not get the animal therapy, you don't get the brotherly love. I mean, it's terrible.
Kind of like you being talented is an oxymoron, but I mean,
I'm clearly one of the most talented people in the business, Trent. You could be a hater, but haters gonna hate. You know what I'm saying?
Haters gonna hate. You just have to shake it off.
I just shake it off and try to act like it doesn't affect me, but I'm okay. I'll try to pull myself together. During court proceedings on June 7th, this was an interesting story, Trent. This one's really good. In an Albany City court in New York, a defendant who started filming an arraignment was asked to stop. ABC New York reported during the altercation that followed, a 34-year-old woman in the audience allegedly released hundreds of cockroaches. Somehow she got into the courtroom with hundreds of cockroaches. She had plastic containers with these cockroaches in the courtroom, and it resulted in the courthouse being closed for the rest of the day for fumigation. And I guess it was supposed to be some form of advocacy or activism. And clearly law enforcement did not believe it was that. It was criminal behavior, in their opinion, with intent to disrupt the proceedings and cause damage, noted from the Office of Court Administration. That's what happened.
But let me ask you this though: whenever you go into courtrooms, normally you have to go through so much security that they know everything you have on your person, and if something's in a bag, obviously they're going to check it. The security guards missed the cockroaches going into the courtroom.
Yeah, is there any chance that they told security that these are my comfort animals? What do they call those? Sometimes.
How can a cockroach be a comfort animal?
Yeah, it's comforting to have the some people like dogs. I like cockroaches. They're very resilient creatures. They were here long before we were, and they'll probably be here long after the human race has expired. So I have an appreciation for them, and they are my comfort animal. And then the security guard has to let them in.
I mean, do you have documentation indicating that this is the case?
It's just a theory, Trent. It's just a theory.
It's just a theory. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Hey, I speaking of cockroaches, I had a band. My band leader, his name is Harry Havery. That's his real name. He really tricked us, but he tricked us with fake cockroaches one time because he got some fake cockroaches. I don't know why he had them. Maybe I know what it was. He was performing at an elementary school, and he decided that, hey, I'm going to freak the kids out at the school by bringing cockroaches and letting them see them. And I'm like, that's a genius idea, Harry. They're not going to be able to sleep for 3 days after that, probably. So he did. He brought them, and he decided that he wanted to entertain some adults and use the same method. Well, he brought cockroaches to my church practice one day because he was the leader. He was the worship leader at my church one time. And next thing you know, my grandmother sat at her keyboard and saw a cockroach, and she about fell off the stage, legit, about scared the living daylights out of her. So I know exactly how it is, and I know how scary they can be. She was not comforted. Neither was my sister. I told this story on the show one time where I was, I was a younger child. My sister was
no excuse, Trent. It's no excuse.
I know. My sister was my older sister. She's 13 now, so she was about 9 at the time. It's about 4 years ago. I decided I'm gonna put a fake cockroach under her pillow. So I did, And I asked her, I said, I had her come in the room for a second. I said, Nora, there's something under your pillow. I don't know what it is. And she lifted up the pillow. She had some choice words for me. Oh, it was crazy. I felt bad for her.
It's so mean, Trent. It's so mean.
I know, but that's what big brothers are supposed to do. They're supposed to joke with their sisters sometimes.
Big brothers are supposed to scare the absolute shit out of their sisters sometimes. It's just, it's the way it is.
Literally and figuratively.
Get another one out here, Trent. A 25. Check this one out. Do you have any experience with horses? With horsies?
I like horses.
Yeah.
I
think the proper English is horsies, Trent. Horsies.
Horsies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Horsies.
I don't know what English class you took.
Yeah.
But it's as far as I know, it's called horses. But who does have experience with horses, and that's Lil Nas X.
Oh yeah, I like Lil Nas X. Industry
baby. He took his horse to the Old Town Road.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go down to Old Kings Road. Oh no, wait, that's not. It's another place.
Old Town Road.
Oh, it's
he's
Old
gonna
Town
ride
Road.
till he can't no more.
Oh yeah, I know that one. That one too. I'm into that song.
Yeah,
too.
That's good. But what about horses? What do you have to tell me about?
All right, so a 25-year-old Russian man, identified as Vasily, was out with his friends on December 9th. So this was a couple months ago in St. Petersburg, where he encountered two women riding a horse through the streets. Now, right away, to me, this is a little weird. Like, it's Trent. It's not 1730. It's 2022. Correct. You don't normally see two women riding on a horse down the street. I mean, what would you do?
Normally, you ride horses on trails or in pastures and things like that.
For me, anyway, his reaction to this whole thing was to walk up to the horse. Okay, so he decided he wanted to pet the horse, according to this report. He's going to walk up, he's going to pet the horse, and one of the riders said that he offered a carrot to the horse. You know what that horse did, Trent?
What did he do?
That horse bit Vasily's nose off.
What?
And spit it out. I kid you not. Bit his nose off, spit it out. However, luckily, the missing piece of his nose was retrieved, and doctors were able to sew it back into place, but they expect there will be scarring. He's going to remember this incident for a long time. Now, there's another story here. Witnesses say, in one of the police reports, that he was very drunk, and he actually tried to kiss the horse, and that's why the horse bit his nose off. Yeah,
okay.
That story makes a little more sense to me.
I understand now. A drunk man trying to kiss you, there's no telling the guy's intoxicated. I mean, obviously the horse is an animal, but he still knows that something isn't right with this man's behavior. So, I mean, he's defending himself. He's trying to bite the guy to make sure to tell him, hey, don't do anything weird. First of all, I would not get up to a horse's face, in general, even if I was stone cold sober, because I don't know what they're going to do.
It depends on the horse to me. I could see it depends on the horse, Trent. If it's a horse with personality, maybe I might try to kiss it. No, but honestly, if I see two women riding a horse down the street, it would be such a foreign thing for me to see, being from the Bronx. My reaction would not be to go up and pet it and kiss the horse. I mean, my reaction would be one of horror. I would probably scream bloody murder. Like, there's a ghost, I've never seen anything like that before. It would be complete shock. It would be like I saw Dracula or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not going to, and then to try to kiss this horrific monster thing that I've never seen before. It's like, oh, look, it's Wolfman. Let me go kiss him. I wouldn't do that. Would you kiss the Wolfman, Trent?
No, I wouldn't even get near the Wolfman.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a creature from the Black Lagoon. Here's a carrot. It's not. That's how crazy it would be for me to see two women riding a horse down the street. But I guess, I was born in this century.
I do have a friend of mine that rides a horse down the trail. She's that's different.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a good time. They do it every week. They have she has a pasture. My friend, who's also his name is Sharon. She has a pasture out here in the beautiful Central Florida, and she rides her horse out there every day, or not every day, but several times per week. And even on the weekend, she goes out to different trails and rides out there too. But I've never seen her ride down her street on a horse. It just I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's you have to admit that's a little odd, Trent. A little bit.
Yes,
odd.
it is. But anyway, you know what else is? It's not really odd, but it's innovative. You know, Gen Z. I am Gen Z because I'm a young guy. I'm only 23 years old. I'll be 24 a month from Saturday.
Are you sure about that, Trent? You're only 23.
I'm positive. You know, I'm not like you. I act my age, not my shoe size.
Let's see. Who's the Big Bopper?
The Big Bopper?
Yeah.
He was a singer from the 1950s.
There's no way a 23-year-old knows that. I call bullshit.
Exactly.
I feel like you're older than me. There's no doubt about it. You're at least 50.
Right. Yeah. Well, at least I acted. The Gen Z.
You do act 50. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but anyway, the Gen Z find people of my generation are starting to find new uses for social media. You know, TikTok is not always used for dance crazes and things like that, but people in my generation are learning new hobbies, such as, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Origami. That's kind of making those paper kind of objects and other things.
Yeah.
Roller skating. They're watching clips on social media, learning how to roller skate.
Yeah.
Tie-dyeing is another thing, and very many others. There was a survey that found 3/4 of the participants, and there were 1,500 participants who picked up new hobbies just by watching clips on TikTok.
So they're learning all these new hobbies. What's the one thing that jumps out to me right away is like, it's a big deal that I'm learning roller skating. When I was a kid, it was just something you did. It was like you knew how to do it. You know, it's.
I mean, I understand. I mean, it's pretty innovative because I mean, you look at not just TikTok, but you look at Facebook and especially like YouTube. YouTube is a big one because you can go on there and get tutorials for everything. You know, if you needed to learn how to change a tire, you could go on YouTube and look up how to change a tire and get several different videos with different techniques that people use. You can, I mean, that's not necessarily a hobby, but I mean, if you had to change a tire, for necessities, you could also, you're a big telescope guy. People, you post the your telescope videos on the Super Radio Brother highlights just by watching. Somebody could scroll on those and look at those. And,
I learned how to use my telescope on YouTube.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's a hobby for you because whenever the sky is clear, you have it out there looking,
Yep.
So I'm just saying. And also it goes on to say that the recipient, more than 3/4 of the participants said that they spent more than 4 hours per week watching different clips on social media and learning new hobbies. So how about that? That's neat.
Have you learned, are you thinking about getting into any new hobbies, Trent?
I mean, I go on YouTube to, my hobby, I play drums, as you know, I'm a musician. So I go on YouTube to find some drum tutorials on how to play specific songs. I like to learn how to play the songs like they sounded on the record and definitely add my twist to it. But I go on YouTube trying to find new things, learning new hobbies per se. I can't say that I've actually done that, but I've gone on YouTube, like I just talked about, to find tutorials on how to do things. I mean, it's very useful. You
know what they call that, Trent? We are living in the age of information, and it's an incredible thing. Information, infinite information at our fingertips in a world where the Alexandria Library was burnt to a crisp and all knowledge was lost from the ancient world. But today, all knowledge of all time available at your fingertips. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. And also you have to realize too that people can learn from you. So
people are learning from me all the time. I have so much to teach, mainly how to sing, because I don't know if you know, Trent, but I'm a world class singer. I'm very good.
I've only heard that from you. I haven't heard that from anybody else.
A lot of people are talking about it, Trent. A lot of people are talking about it. They're like, "Whoa,
Huh.
whoa, that dude
That's
Rich."
funny because they haven't talked to me.
Oh, you just got to get yourself out there, and the more people you run into on the street, eventually someone's going to tell you, that guy Rich, whoa, world-class singer. So just think
All
about
right.
that. Yeah. Don't be intimidated by it or anything. I'm still a human just like you. I'm just an excellent singer.
Oh, no. I understand.
So anyway, this was an interesting story, Trent. These days, inflation, crazy gas prices. I mean, it costs a ton of money to fill up the gas tank right now. It's no joke. People are hurting out there right now, and it hurts.
Over $5 a gallon in some places.
Oh, it's awful, and it hurts a lot to fill up the gas tank. It just does. That's what's going on right now for everybody. This dude out in Massachusetts, he's owned a gas station since 1973, and all of a sudden, now Trent, he's decided enough is enough. I will no longer sell gasoline. He says, I don't want to be a part of it anymore. This is the biggest ripoff that has ever happened to people in my lifetime. Again, he's owned this gas station since 1973. So he doesn't want to sell, he says, I still do oil changes, but I don't sell gas anymore. That sounds like a terrible business model to me, doesn't it, Trent? I mean, a gas station that doesn't sell gas?
Oh yeah, that's a crazy business model for sure.
I mean, could you imagine, like, all of a sudden Popeyes stops selling chicken?
Love that chicken from Popeye,
but not today.
Yeah,
because the chicken industry is ripping off poultry lovers all over the country, and Popeyes will not sell chicken anymore. Only spicy Cajun mashed potatoes. We're putting our foot down. No more chicken at Popeyes.
Well, their mashed potatoes are pretty good, but I mean, they're
But can
they're
you
better
imagine them without chicken?
They're better if you have chicken with it. That's what I'm saying.
Trent, what if Staples stopped selling staples? I mean,
I know.
The world would fall on its face. There would be a lot of loose paper. A lot of loose paper.
What if McDonald's stopped serving fries?
Or Burger King stopped selling burgers.
That's right.
Or Target stopped selling Targets. I don't know if that last one works, but you know what I'm saying.
I could have gone without the last one, but yeah.
Anyway, I think he's trying to do something good, but it lacks common sense. It lacks sense.
Sure. It's not sensical at all. It's not.
I'm desensitized from the sensical nature of this insensitive story.
Hey, when was the last time you had to fill your gas tank up?
The other day, I've gone away from trying to fill the tank because I used to want to fill the tank. Now I kind of budget myself. Well, let me just put in 50 and see where it gets me, and it's usually not that far. It's not that
Not
good.
These days.
Not these days. It's not going to get you.
If you're going, let's see. Let me just do some quick math here. So let's just an estimate. Let's say gas is $5 per gallon. You put $50 in there. You're only putting 10 gallons in your tank because 5 times 10 is 50. So.
You lost me with the math, Trent. I'm sorry. I have a very short attention span, and I was trying to follow, but it was just too complicated.
I know, that I did learn a thing or two whenever I was in college, and I did graduate.
Oh, that's what I missed.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! So let's see, real estate, Trent. I know that we've got the real estate market on mind here today.
Yes, we actually do. That's a great segue. Real estate. A couple in Chicago purchased and decided to renovate a home, but about that, there was one big issue. But after they listed it on the market, they found out that someone was actually already living there. So a contractor showed up to do some work to try to renovate the home, and he told the couple that, "I'm sorry, we've already got people living here. You can't do anything with it."
Oops.
Sorry.
What?
And he realized the locks were already changed too, so that should have said something.
What?
So,
oh my God! How do you sell a house that somebody's already living in? I'm so confused. How does this happen?
And they were throwing a fit. The couple was like, "Oh my gosh, we can't do this. This is unacceptable." And they filed a police report, and the police said that because these individuals already bought the lease, and the lease was signed, and everything was documented, they did it perfectly legally. So you can't. There's no way of getting that house back that they had.
That's sad, Trent. That's very sad. But you know what? Maybe sometimes it's not worth owning a home. You know that? Maybe sometimes.
But where would you live?
Maybe. Well, that's true. Where would I live? Maybe I'll just live in the jungle, and be like,
"Welcome to the jungle."
Be organic, live in a tree or something, like a gnome. Gnomes live in trees, right?
Oh yeah.
I know the Keebler elves do. They make cookies in trees, but maybe I would do something like that. There's too much. There are too many problems, or even it's not worth living in an $8 million mansion. What would you think about living in an $8 million mansion?
Whoa, $8 million mansion! Wow, that's insane. Don't you like mansions? I mean, they're pretty cool.
It's a lot of house. It's a lot of house to take care of. I feel like I would neglect. There's a lot of rooms.
Have you ever had a dream of living in a mansion one day?
Well, if I could find the proper help, Trent. We need a staff.
Oh yeah.
I need a staff to because like I said, there's going to be a lot of room neglect. I feel like there are going to be a lot of rooms I don't get into, and that would be a shame. They would fall into disrepair. Speaking of which, how about this story? And finally, Trent, teens, a bunch of teens. You're not a teen anymore, but you were a teen not too long ago.
Only about 3 years ago.
So, but I don't think you've ever gotten into any shenanigans like this, or maybe you have. Teens broke into an $8 million Florida mansion, held boxing matches during house parties.
Whoa.
That sounds awesome. No, wait, maybe I shouldn't say that. And dude, there's videos and posts and TikToks all over social media. I mean, it is wild how huge that is. Look, this is them now. You hear that?
Oh yeah, they're fighting right now. Boom, boom,
they're
boom.
cursing and they're boxing each other and they're drinking and they're having a great time, but it's not their home. It's not their home, and they haven't been caught, Trent. Sheriff's office in Florida is searching for the young adults who they say broke into an $8 million seaside home, threw a party, vandalized the property in the process, posted video evidence on social media. I'm telling you, there are videos. Some 200 young adults were partying in this $8 million mansion. The owners of the home had no idea anything was going on. Videos are circulating on Snapchat, Instagram, other social media platforms. Some of the highlights including people attending, turning the foyer of the $8 million home into a boxing ring. Videos and photos showed young adults smoking in what appeared to be a theater room, drinking, boxing, play fighting. One photo showed a dude wearing a handful of gold rings he found in the home. Complete violation. Sheriff's office is now asking those who ransacked the home to come forward. Just come forward, all right, before the evidence does it in for them, because obviously their faces are all over these videos. So
basically what they're saying is, you're so stupid to do that in the first place. But number two, you realize everything is on video these days. You're going to be caught eventually. So why not? You realize in the back of your head, well, they probably don't. They think that they got unscathed and they're free and everything. Yeah, no. What happens in the dark is going to come to the light, as my mom said years ago. So
the sheriff's office put out a statement to that effect, Trent. It said, you may think Snapchat is private. It isn't private. You may think if you're a teenager or someone in their early 20s that you're not yet worldly. Your friends will snitch. Words get out. You're going to get busted. You'll be tagged in pics on the gram. We're going to find you. So, see, the cops think they're cool, Trent. They called it the gram.
Yeah, this is probably like a 60-something-year-old guy calling it the gram.
Yeah.
I don't know who wrote the statement, but anyway, you talk about house parties. There was one big time, but my granddad was not necessarily. I wouldn't say the victim of the house party, but his house was the place where a huge house party happened one time, it wasn't a. Nobody really broke in because my uncle, which would be his brother, had the code, had the combination to get in his house. So you can't necessarily say that he broke in because he had all the information. But you talk about really messing up his house. My granddad was away on vacation with his wife at the time, and my uncle came over to his house and decided, hey, it's July 3rd, July 4th, which, by the way, that's coming up. We're gonna set off some fireworks. We're gonna set off some fireworks in the backyard out by the pool, just having a good old time. Not to worry about anything. Next thing you know, speaking of snitch, it was so loud that when my granddad got back, the neighbors actually snitched on my uncle and his family because my uncle actually lied to him. My granddad said, "Hey, was there anything? Did you come to my house whenever I was gone?" And he goes, "No, I don't remember anything." And my uncle was so drunk that he probably wouldn't remember. But I mean, because he set off the fireworks, he almost burned his hand a few times whenever he was doing it. So that's no fun. I mean, whenever you get that intoxicated, you better not have any fireworks or anything like that in your hand because that's an injury waiting to happen. So yeah, let's just say that. But yes, my grandfather was a victim of a house party one time, and I know how those work, and they're not very fun, especially for the homeowner. But those teens, don't be surprised if you see some breaking news in the next week. They're in the big house.
I just know a couple of things. We would get together and have parties when I was a kid, but we never did anything cool like have boxing matches and do crazy shit like that. Maybe a nice game of Connect Four.
Connect Four? Who plays Connect Four anymore? I mean,
no one could win. But we'd have a nice game or a long game of Monopoly.
Did you have any pizza? Did you bring pizza or something?
Pizza, Monopoly, 7 hours, some beer. It's.
How about cooking on the grill?
Oh, yeah. Get some grilling going. Never boxing, though. It'd be great if me and my friends just beat the shit out of each other and hang out.
It's funny. You say never boxing, but during Boxing Day, my mom had a party one time. She, during Boxing Day, like during the holidays, she boxed up her gifts.
That's not the kind of boxing I'm talking about, Trent. That's not what I'm talking about.
I had to turn it around.
Oh, you turned me around. I'm sick now. I'm sick after that. But speaking of sick, what the craziest point of this story is? And you really got to think about this one, Trent. Think about this one. $8 million mansion, right? $8 million mansion, yet the owners can't afford a Ring doorbell? Wouldn't you think that anything fishy or crazy starts happening at this $8 million mansion, video would be immediately sent to their phones?
I mean, that's my grandfather has Ring, and every time that there's motion at his front door, he gets a little notification that says, hey, there's motion at your front door. You better watch out.
Oh, so do my parents. And guess what? My parents don't live in an $8 million mansion, yet they have a Ring doorbell.
Do you have a Ring doorbell?
Of course I do. This is 2022. Yet these people have an $8 million mansion, and somehow 200 young idiots break into their home, drink, have boxing matches. They don't play Monopoly. They do cooler stuff than that. And yet the owners of this $8 million mansion have no idea what's going on at their house.
Hey, I have a friend of mine that bought these cameras. I think they're made by Apple, but they bought these cameras that they put basically inside their house, outside their house. So, like a friend of mine will use their pool every now, and I will use their pool every now and then. But we walked over there back on Friday. Yeah, it was a Friday night. It was the weekend. I wanted to, swim in the pool. It was the last day before some thunderstorms rolled in on Saturday and into Sunday. So, but anyway, that's beside the point. We walked in, and all of a sudden, their cameras started speaking to us. I'm sure it alerted them that there was motion at their front door, but it also alerted us that we were being recorded. It said something like, "Hi, you are now being recorded. So please watch what you say, or please watch what you do." That if the teams found out that they were recorded, or if they had some type of security system, they meaning the owners of the $8 million mansion, this wouldn't have happened, Rich. This could have been avoided, because if you're being recorded, you're probably going to haul butt out of there.
Oh yeah. You're not going to stick around for that. It's too dangerous. You can't be seen, right?
Absolutely right.
Unbelievable. Well, there you go. That, my friends, as they say, is
Super Radio Rundown.
from this, how we call it, the news. The news, Trent. Did you enjoy the news?
Yeah, I did. I learned a lot of new things today.
I just, what makes our news different from most news is that I don't know. I don't feel any smarter after that. Maybe less so.
Yeah, I mean, I can get that vibe. I can embarrass you with my sophistication sometimes, but that happens. It really does.
Yeah. I love to be embarrassed by your sophistication, Trent. It just
sophistication. I don't even think that's a word.
Sophisticationality. Okay.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
There you go.
So anyway, Super Radio Rundown. Very excited. Got to bring this up right away. This week's already streaming on Netflix, the third and final season of The Umbrella Academy. And very excited to see. I think that's Jared Way's comic book turned into a Netflix series. The first season was absolutely great. And I think the end of the first season was one of the best cliffhangers of all time. With the moon being destroyed and everything. It was pretty wild. And the second season was pretty good as well. This is a popular Netflix series. As a matter of fact, I mean, we've posted about Umbrella Academy coming out, and we've got people commenting on that on Super Radio Brothers social media. So a lot of people talking about it for many different reasons. You can go on social media and see people going at it. A lot of debate going on there. So you got Umbrella Academy Season 3 out right now. Can't wait to get started watching that. I'll probably watch a couple episodes this weekend. Pray and Obey. That's a new Netflix docuseries coming out, examining the rise of Warren Jeffs in the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and his shocking criminal case. Pray and Obey is a brutal, eye-opening documentary about the effects of absolute power when placed in the hands of horrific men drunk on the worst aspects of fundamentalist religion. If you've just watched the documentary and have questions, we've got if you've been through something, they're giving you a hotline here. But that sounds pretty wild. I love cult type stuff. I think that's some of the, I shouldn't say it's entertaining, it's fascinating. I know a lot of the Scientology stuff was out there these past couple years at Actress, and just getting a look inside the world of some of these cults is pretty cool. It's not cool. I don't. What should I say, Trent? You're sophisticated.
What you said's fine.
Okay, it gets the Trent approval of sophistication.
Why not?
Okay, that's perfect. So yeah,
kind of like Equal Battles,
Yeah, I want to watch this documentary about Warren Jeffs. That's also going to be on Netflix. I've been checking out this show, Old Man, with Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges, one of my favorite actors of all time, the Dude.
Yeah.
We have a special guest there talking to us, Trent. I don't know who that was.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. That's a robot talking, but he has no opinion, so my bad.
Oh, okay. I was trying to. I didn't want to be disrespectful and not respect his opinion.
No, he has no opinion.
Okay, just making sure.
I mean, the only opinions that he has is what I translate. I call him my translator, aka my screen reader. So whatever opinions he has, I just have to type it into a document, and he'll read it back to us. But
I'll tell you what, I mean, as long as robots are soulless machines, we're safe. So I'm glad that your robot doesn't have an opinion, because if it did, Skynet, Terminator, the whole thing's coming down, bro.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like if he had an opinion about you, he would be more than happy to share it, I'm sure.
So, that would be scary. New show on Hulu, The Old Man, starring Jeff Bridges, of course, from one of my favorite movies of all time, The Big Lebowski, The Dude, Jeff Bridges, and of course he's been in a ton of other stuff, but he's the old man. Not sure what his history is, but he was a badass apparently, because he can kick everybody's ass, and he does it with his two best friends, Trent, a pair of Rottweilers, which is just adorable and great and cool. I've enjoyed the first couple of episodes of The Old Man on Hulu.
Hey, dogs are people's friends,
Oh, yeah. Well, they do say dogs are a man's best friend, right? That's what they say. So, another HBO, this time a documentary from HBO, Mind Over Murder, a feature documentary made about, guess what, this crazy event, Trent, that happened in Nebraska back in 1968. Unfortunately, this woman was horrifically raped and murdered. Well, 6 people, they admitted to guilt in her murder, but it turns out none of them were guilty. So it's a really weird story. DNA evidence was collected and actually pointed at an entirely unrelated killer that led to the exoneration of what the media at the time called the Beatrice Six. But it's just an odd situation where you had 6 people falsely implicating themselves in a murder. It's hard to explain. And HBO, they just put out not really a docuseries, more of a drama series based on a docuseries from back in the day, a Netflix docuseries, Staircase, the story of, what's his name? Michael Peterson, I think was his name. Another wild, crazy, murder story. So this seems, I never even heard of this, but it sounds like a compelling story. Mind Over Murder. I definitely want to check it out and give it a shot and, see what was going on there, because the whole thing, Trent, just makes little sense. If I didn't kill somebody, I would not admit to murder. I'm just saying.
Right.
It doesn't seem like something that you should do.
I have to wrap my head around that.
Yeah. Well, maybe now I've pulled you in. You're gonna watch Mind Over Murder.
Just not before I go to sleep. I have to watch it during the day.
Do you get nightmares, Trent? Do you think you would get nightmares after watching that?
I might have a tough dream or two. You just never know.
It's okay. We don't want that then. We don't want that. Jurassic World Dominion, #1 at the box office, dominating as a matter of fact. Well, I wouldn't say dominating. Lightyear is out there as well. Walt Disney Pictures. Lightyear, of course, is kind of a prequel, I guess, of Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. $50 million though it made. Top Gun Maverick still making a ton of money, $44 million at the box office. Jurassic World Dominion, $59 million to be #1. I did get a chance to check that flick out last weekend. I'm getting ready to put out a video on social media.
Oh,
Super
no.
Radio Brothers social media. Oh yeah, we got something really awesome planned for this one, so I hope you tune in. So I'll just say this about it. I'll talk about it in the couch report. I'll give you a little something, but I'll save most of what I think for the big video coming out on Super Radio Brothers social media. And if you haven't seen our Top Gun, that's the latest video we did, our Top Gun review, go ahead, go to Super Radio Brothers YouTube page and check it out. Video game news. Video game. Yeah. Video game news.
My favorite part of the show.
I know you love that. This is a cool story, Trent. You and I'm pointing straight at you, Trent. I'm talking directly to you.
You can't see me.
I can see you in my mind. You
Okay.
could get paid to work as a character in a video game.
Is that true?
Yeah, and not only can you get paid, bro, you can get paid and make bank on this job, bro. $24,000.
Wow.
That's that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Have you ever made that much money in your life?
Oh, not my whole lifetime. It's very sad, actually. It's very sad.
Yeah.
But no, 25 grand and basically it's kind of lame because when I first saw this story, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna be a super badass, ninja action, unstoppable force, killing hundreds of NPCs on my way to saving the princess or something. But no, it's nothing that cool. This is a Pringles. You know Pringles, Trent?
Oh, I love Pringles.
Yeah, once you pop, you can't stop.
Correct.
Pringles.
You're talking about the chips.
The potato chips is looking for applicants for the world's first ever chance to get paid to work in a video game.
Wow.
If lucky enough to secure this once-in-a-lifetime role, the successful candidate will get $25,526.80, but will also be transformed into an NPC, otherwise known as a non-playable character, and will have their face immortalized in a video game. The position, which is open to applicants from June 20th, so you can already start throwing in your application here, will see one chosen candidate paid real money to appear as a Pringles, get ready for this, Trent, to appear as a Pringles vending machine refiller. This is what you're going to do in the game. You're going to refill Pringles vending machine. Does that sound exciting to you?
No. I mean, I guess for the money, I guess it is. But I mean, you're like refilling a vending machine.
I guess this is a game. I've never heard of it. You'll be an NPC in Train Sim World 2. I never played Train Sim World 1, so I'm not familiar with this franchise. But
Heard of it from Adam.
But apparently you'll be refilling a Pringles vending machine in this video game, available on Xbox. So, hey, for 25
I like
grand,
Pringles, but I don't know if I like them enough to refill a vending machine in a video game.
And I don't think in real life I've ever actually seen a Pringles vending machine.
Wow.
It's have you seen one of those? Am I missing something?
No, I've never.
As a matter of fact, I might be a little disappointed.
I've seen containers of Pringles in an actual vending machine, but I've never seen a vending machine dedicated specifically to Pringles.
Yeah, exactly. If I saw a vending machine with only Pringles in it, that would be somewhat disappointing, right?
Yeah, because what if you wanted that? What if you wanted a Reese's cup, or what if you wanted a Twix or a Snickers or whatever you wanted?
Maybe I want some chocolate with my Pringles. Chocolate and potato chips, pretty good combination. I'm just saying.
That I have to say I agree with. I like the sweet and the salty together.
Oh yeah. That works. That works for me. And they're just missing the boat there with the, can we get a little, exactly, yeah, let me get some peanut butter cups in there. I want to stack this vending machine with some variety, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep.
It's only fair, it's cool, it's the way it should be, in my opinion. It's the way it should be.
Your opinion.
In my opinion. I'm sure there are going to be different kinds of Pringles in there. You're going to have original, you're going to have sour cream and onion, barbecue.
You got to do the cheddar cheese.
Cheddar cheese. What's your best chip, Trent? What's your go-to potato chip?
My go-to potato chip. I'm a sucker for some good barbecue chips, man. I love some barbecue every chance I get. I also love sour cream and onion. Chips are my weakness. I try to stay away from them if I can.
Are you a chips with your sub type of dude?
Oh, absolutely.
You gotta have the chips with that sub, right? I love all kinds of potato chips, Trent. I love original. But if I was gonna go with some flavor, man, I love the chips that have the cheddar and all of that on it. But I also love some good sour cream and onion. I don't know.
They used to make these. They like whenever I was in middle school, they made these chips. I can't find them anymore, but they're called like Ruffles loaded chili and cheese or something.
Oh, it's probably delicious. And do you like
so
the
good.
wavy Ruffles style or just a regular potato chip?
No, I love the wavies too. Well, I used to whenever I was a kid. Those were my favorite chip. Like I liked Wavy Lay chips. Those were so good.
I gotta be honest. I don't think I've ever met a potato chip I didn't like. It's maybe it is a problem. I don't know what to tell you. I love potato chips. Trent,
that's good for you.
You know, Trent, how sometimes you're very disrespectful to me, and you call me names, and sometimes it makes me want to cry. No, it doesn't make me want to cry, but sometimes
they're warranted though.
It's I deserved it.
Matter of fact, most of them are. 99.9999% of them are. Yeah.
Oh, well, you realize this, okay? If we were playing a video game and you did that to me in Japan, you might go to jail.
Really?
You might go to prison. Is there a difference between prison and jail? Did I use that right?
I mean, yeah, there are some differences.
Let me simplify.
Same premise. Okay.
Let me simplify. You'll be behind bars.
Correct. Yay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a good way
Congratulations.
You could go to jail for calling someone names online in a video game as Japan outlaws internet insults. Oh, no, wait a second. It's just insults in general online, Trent. You couldn't even insult me on Facebook like you so often do.
so I couldn't, if the Yank, well, I can't really
like when I post one of my crowning achievements or a great moment in life for myself, and you tag the poop emoji,
oh yeah,
that might get you thrown in jail in Japan.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Strict new laws against trolling have been introduced in Japan, making online insults punishable by up to a year in prison. The changes follow the death of a wrestler, and I'm assuming this death didn't take place in the ring. Let's go on with this article. Let's see what it says here. It says, be careful who you insult on the internet. It could land you a year in a Japanese prison thanks to strict new laws against online trolling in the country following the death of a 22-year-old wrestler who took her own life in 2020 after sharing images of self-harm and hateful comments she received online. The Japanese government has severely upped the penalties for internet insults. So previously insulting someone on the internet could get you 30 days in jail, or so it was already a crime. Or a fine of up to 10,000 yen, $76 USD. Now, instead of 3 months, you could spend a year behind bars and face fines as much as $2,000. So keep your internet trolling to yourself, buddy.
Absolutely. But I'm not doing it over the internet. I'm doing it right to your face.
Oh, that's true. There's no law against that, I guess.
I'm not hiding behind a keyboard. I'm telling you exactly how I feel, when I feel like it, and it doesn't matter exactly the time because I'm ready to rock and I'm ready to roll.
There's no laws against telling someone to their face that you don't like them.
I'm not going to hide behind a keyboard, sir.
You're not a keyboard warrior? Is that what they call it? A keyboard warrior?
Right, yeah.
Oh, I'm a major keyboard warrior. I love it. I'm just going to get on there and talk all that trash and say bad things. It just makes me feel better about myself.
And it explains why you are who you are.
Also, Trent, in video games, a movie based on the Gran Turismo video game is coming in 2023. Now, Gran Turismo has been around a long time. It's been a staple of PlayStation gaming. Basically, Trent, you could take out all of the most awesome cars in the world and ride them around the track. I remember I had a friend when I was younger, who was really into all the Gran Turismo games. A new one came out, he had to have it. And I just never got it myself because racing games get boring to me real fast. I might get into it at first, but especially on a track, it's boring just going round and round and round. And then when I'd watch this dude play, and I'm like, I'd say, so, hey, man, you're the only car on the racetrack. Yeah, I'm trying to beat my last time. I'm trying to beat my best time. I'm like, oh, that's the excitement you get out of it. So I never personally got it, and I don't know how you make a movie out of Gran Turismo. I hope it's not as boring as the game was to me. I know a lot of people love the game, but anyway, if you're a big I don't want to shit on what you like. If you're a big Gran Turismo fan, and hey, the cars are awesome. And I think what frustrated me too, to be honest, when I was, the Yankees just tied this game with the Houston Astros in the bottom of the ninth with a 3-run home run from Aaron Hicks. The game is now tied at 6-6 in the bottom of the ninth. Whoa. I thought I had already written this game away as a loss for the Yankees, giving up 2 early 3-run home runs in this game. I don't mean to cut in on this Gran Turismo story, but that was freaking incredible just now. I
just threw up.
A new ball game here. It was 6-3. Looked like the Yankees were dead in the water in the bottom of the ninth. But Aaron Hicks, of all people, hits a 3-run home run to tie it here in the bottom of the ninth. Incredible. That's the type of season it's been for the Yankees here so far. Anyway, so you know what that is? You know what that is a great segue for, Trent?
I would assume the sports.
Yeah, Super Radio Brother Sports. What timing as Aaron Hicks deep into the night, right center field dramatically ties this game with the Houston Astros. And we'll see what happens from here. But my, oh my, whoa, what a home run. Very exciting.
What a joy.
It's not over yet. We'll see what happens, but what a win this would be if the Yankees could finish this comeback. So anyway, Super Radio Brother Sports, I will let you, I can't even speak right now. I'm so shocked by that home run. Trent, take over the show.
Well, you might interrupt me if the Yankees do end up walking it off, because they did hit a 3-run home run. So, something's going to tell me, something to do. We have to cut in for breaking news because the Yankees just walked it up, and everything. And then you got John Sterling. The Yankees win.
John Sterling, who's been off for a couple weeks now. It's pretty weird to turn on Yankee games and not hear Sterling calling them. But we had Ricky Ricardo in there and AAA guy, I forget his name, but decent stuff.
How dare you forget the AAA guy's name?
What do you want me to say? I'm sorry. He does the Trenton Thunder games.
There you go.
But very weird to.
He could be listening right now, and he could be very insulted.
Very upset. But you know what? You did a great job, dude. I'll put the radio broadcast on usually if I'm traveling somewhere. Usually I'm listening to K and the Yes Network at home.
Oh yeah,
watching the game. So, but yeah, weird to turn on the radio and not hear Sterling doing the game. Definitely.
No, just laying out kidding aside, John Sterling is a legend announcer in Major League Baseball. Just as a fan of the game in general, I respect what he does, and congratulations to him. He is taking some time off because he doesn't want to travel these days, and that happens sometimes. The guy's in his mid 80s, and if he wants to take some games off, thanks to advice that he's gotten from guys like Vin Scully and so many other guys, so many other veteran broadcasters in the game. Why not? The guy deserves it. He's been announcing games, Rich. He's been doing baseball in general for over 60 years. So I mean, he's or just not just baseball, but he used to do NBA. He did the New York Stars football. He's done so many other things, and he's been behind the mic for over 60 years. And if he wants to take some time off during a season, by golly, you better let him do it.
Oh, and what is it? Over 30 years of Yankee baseball, the dude didn't miss any games. Sterling is just every single game he's there calling the ball game. And it's the radio broadcast, so he's doing playoffs and World Series as well. Some people don't like the cheesiness and the over-the-top nature of what he does, but I think if you're a Yankee fan, you love what Sterling does.
I have to say his home run calls are pretty innovative. Yeah, one of my favorite, and then we'll get on with the actual play on the field because we're going to start with baseball. By the way, our teams played each other again this week. What do you know? The Yankees, because of their great start, won another series against Tampa Bay, and much to my chagrin, it happens. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So I was going to say, but one of my favorite John Sterling home run calls is when Brian McCann would hit a home run, or whenever he's with the wait, was it Brian McCann or was it James McCann? It was McCann. One of them. It was Brian McCann. Yeah. That's what I thought. Brian McCann would hit a home run, and Sterling would just go nuts. He would go, "Oh yes, McCann can! Oh yes, McCann can!" I always loved that. My second favorite call was when he went for Austin Romine. He had to come up with something because Austin Romine didn't hit very many home runs, and he had to think of something on the fly, and he goes, "Romy, he's my homie." And I thought that was great. And I've always loved the Gleyber Torres home run. Like a good Gleyber Torres is there.
Oh, yeah, he's had a ton of them over the years. And, I
wonder what his home run call would be for you. If you hit a home run, I wonder what it would be like. Richard Carroll hit one right off the barrel.
I was thinking the same thing. That's a pretty good one, Trent. That's not bad. That is a pretty good call right there. I don't know. Rich, he's not a snitch. A home run. Oh no, wait, that doesn't work. I'll think. Rich, he's gonna leave you in a ditch. No, wait, that's horrible. What am I doing? Wait, no, that's a terrible home run call. What am I think? I can't think of a good home run call for myself. I'm sorry. Rich, he's the super cool, awesome dude that just hit a home run. No, that's not good.
Rich, the only thing he knows how to do is ditch.
I don't know. Anyway, I that's a good one. I got to think of a good home run call for myself. But, yeah, Sterling, one of the greats, and he'll be there for the biggest games coming up here at the end of the season. So we're looking forward to hearing some more John Sterling. Been doing the games for a long, long time, and if you're a Yankee fan, you'll love him. There's no doubt.
Sure thing. But anyway, let's go to the play on the field. The Tampa Bay Rays are not doing very well right now, as a matter of fact. If you want my honest opinion, they played some of their worst baseball since you got to go back to 2018. You look at the Rays, they are outside looking in as far as the playoff spot's concerned. They are in fourth place. The last time they were in fourth place this late in the season was back in June of 2018 when they did not make the postseason. The last 3 years, 2019, 2020, and 2021, of course, they've made the playoffs in some capacity, of course, with that shortened season in 2020 where they almost won the World Series, lost to the Los Angeles Dodgers in that tournament season, if you will, as a lot of people call it. They really haven't been this far back in a long time, so this is unfamiliar territory for a lot of these guys. But they've been through it. The Rays have just been decimated with injuries, and if I was asked to sum up the Rays in a sentence, I would simply say they need to score more runs offensively. The starting pitching is doing their job, but the offense needs to pick them up. And another thing is they need to get healthy because they are not healthy. They have 15 players on the injured list right now. One of the latest, I should say, being Manuel Margot on Monday night in that loss to the New York Yankees 4-2 on that game on Monday, where I think Judge hit a ball to the outfield, and Manuel Margot went back and tried to catch it, but he got his foot stuck in the wall. And he did something in that knee. It's not completely clear how long he'll be out, but he is always one to really play good defense in the outfield, as well as run into one occasionally when it comes to the offense. But we're trying to find some silver linings as far as the Rays are concerned. Tampa Bay did lose 2 out of 3 to the Yankees. Monday night, they ended up losing that game 4-2. They came back and tied the contest in the eighth, but in the ninth, New York scored a couple of runs to make it 4-2. Once again, those runs came on a throwing error. So what new? Tampa Bay's given up 46 unearned runs this season. Tuesday, though, the Rays came back to beat the New York Yankees thanks to Itzhak Paredes. Have you heard of him, Rich?
Oh, I heard of him now. I know that they actually got that's one of those things where you see how good the Tampa Bay organization can be. I believe they got Paredes in the Meadows trade. And right now,
Meadows came from Detroit. They got Paredes from the Tigers.
And right now, Paredes leads the Rays with 9 home runs. And Meadows, to this point, still has no home runs on the season, so that's looking like a good deal.
He's the 7th player in franchise history to homer in 4 consecutive at-bats, and among those 7 players include Evan Longoria and B.J. Upton, just to name a few. And just to name a Rays that have players that have played with the Rays for the last decade to 15 years. So we'll see how that works out. But Itzhak Paredes and his on base percentage was good too. He's always been able to work at bats, and he really helped them in the Yankees series. But because they've been able to score some runs, and not a great night on the mound for Nestor Cortez for the Yankees the other night. It was a 5-2 contest, and then Marwin Gonzalez hit a 2-run home run to cut it to 5-4. And you thought, man, in the top of the 9th inning, you thought Aaron Judge was going to tie that contest. He hit that blast to center field, but thankfully Brett Phillips was able to catch it, and the Tampa Bay Rays ended up winning that game by a 5-4 count. And then on Wednesday night, it looked like Tampa Bay was going to potentially win the series. They had momentum from the night before. Itzhak Paredes hit a home run. Fidel Brujan also hit another home run. Fidel's been struggling as of late. We finally got a chance to see him hit the home run ball. But unfortunately, they had chances to add on in pretty much every inning, and they were unable to do so. And another costly error, which they gave up another unearned run, allowed the Yankees to get back in it. They left the door open for them to come back and get in this game, and they did. And next thing you know, they ended up taking the lead in the 9th inning, or in the 8th inning, I should say, thanks to a home run by you know him, and Rich will talk about him here in a little bit. But Jose Trevino, man, you look at him; he has been a heck of a star. What a story! What a feel-good story for the Yankees in terms of their catcher situation, and just his history is inspiring in itself. So that was another tough luck loss for the Rays. The Red Sox are hot. The Rays are not just a half game in 4th place now. They're back there pretty good right at the current moment. They're almost 2 games, as a matter of fact, back in 4th place. And look, they haven't been able to overcome the injuries. Number one, and number two, the starting pitchers are doing their jobs for the most part, and even the bullpen. Besides last night, the implosion of the bullpen with Ralph Garza and Colin Poche and others, but Rich, when you out-hit your opponent, which they did 6 out of their 7 losses on the road trip, but you're not able to get them in, the lack of clutch hitting has affected the Rays being able to win some games, and they have. So, look, hopefully they can get that straightened out. They got the Pittsburgh Pirates coming in, and then it doesn't get any easier because they have to play the Milwaukee Brewers, and then Toronto's been losing some games as of late, but you know how hot they are with Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr., and that entire lineup. You have to play Toronto for 5 games in 4 days, 2 of which are going to take place in a day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Of that game of 4th of July weekend. So if the Rays want to get back in the series, they have to in the playoff race, they have to start winning series, and they have to start winning series now. And nobody's going to feel sorry for you that you have 15 players on the injured list, but because that's the way the game is. You have to play with who you have, and if you're going to compete, you got to compete with who you got. Yeah,
the Rays, they just don't look like the same team they've been the past couple of years, and injuries are definitely a part of that. Also, one of the numbers that really jumped out at me over the series this past week, 3-game series, Yankees took 2 out of 3 in Tampa, was the unearned runs. Rays are at the top of the league. They've given up 46 unearned runs this year, and the Yankees all year have given up 8. So, and that's a real clear indication as to why the teams are where they are. You saw it a couple of times manifest itself in this series. That error at shortstop that allowed Gleyber Torres to score and get the Yankees back into the game. So the unearned runs are just a sloppy baseball team right now if you're the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Yankees continue to do what they do. The Yankees going into that series, and still at this point, they might lose this game here tonight. By the way, Trevino got robbed of a chance to have a game-winning hit. Kiner Falefa was safe at second base, trying to steal. They called him out. They even went to the replay, and the replay seemed pretty clear that he was safe in there. It was close, but they still called him out. Very next pitch, Trevino singles to center field, so that would have been game over. But since Falefa was called out at second base, Yankees have 2 outs with a man on first here in the bottom of the ninth. But the point I'm getting to is it's June 23rd. We're recording this podcast. The Yankees have not lost a game in the Bronx in June. It's pretty ridiculous. They just haven't lost a game in the Bronx in the entire month, which is pretty wild. And a lot of we all know about the great start that the Yankees have, 50 wins and everything. But a lot of people like to point to, well, you just played the Cubs, you played the Guardians. Well, the Guardians are hot now, but you haven't played great teams. And everybody pointed to this stretch of ball games, especially with the division rivals. You got 9 straight games against the Rays and the Blue Jays, a chance for the Rays and the Blue Jays to kind of get themselves back into the American League East race, and a good chance for the Yankees to turn around and say, no, this is a different year. This is a different team, a different animal. You're not getting him back in this race. And 9 games later, Yankees are 7-2 in those games, increasing their lead over both the Rays and the Jays, even though now the Red Sox seem to be the team that's kind of jumping more into the conversation. But let's face it, Yankees pretty much buried the Rays and the Jays in the past 9 games. So it's really good stretch for the Yankees. Really cool things happening. And that's why I think that third game against the Rays was so important, when you go down 3-0 and then 4-1 to come back and win, because you didn't want to lose that series to the Rays. You've had such a streak going so far this year. The Yankees are 18-2-2 in series. So you didn't want to lose a series to the Rays. You didn't want that to happen. So for them to come back and then come back the way they did, where the day before Aaron Judge got the day off, he's been on a bit of a slide, hasn't been hitting as well as he was previous weeks. His average went down from 317 to about 302. He's been in a little bit of a slump. Second game of the series, they give Aaron Judge the day off. He pinch hits in the 9th inning and hits one to the warning track away from possibly tying the ball game. But Aaron Judge comes out in the third game of the series after the day off, 2 home run performance, 27 home runs on the year. And one of those home runs, my goodness, actually there is video and pictures coming out a day later of the ball actually clearing the catwalk. It went over the catwalk in Tropicana, which is one of the most incredible shots I've ever seen. Man, oh man, that was an incredible home run. And as you mentioned, for Trevino to be the guy to come out in the 8th inning after the 2 Judge home runs to hit a 2-run home run, just really amazing to see Trevino. And that's one of the differences with this team so far this year. They got a lot of guys in the lineup with what, I guess you could call the clutch gene. They get up there and they're not easy outs. This isn't Joey. Trevino gets up there. You just feel confident the guy's at least going to make contact in a big spot. There are guys up in the, Gleyber Torres is back. He's that guy again this year that, up in a big spot. You're just feeling good about him. You're feeling good about Judge. You're feeling good about these different guys getting up in big situations. Even a guy like Aaron Hicks, who was hitting well under 100 for the entire season, he's hitting about 330 right now in the month of June and is getting big hit after big hit, none bigger than the one that he's had tonight so far. You got this mindset that you haven't seen with the Yankees in quite some time. Aaron Judge has 6 multi-home run games this season. He joins Babe Ruth, in 1928 as the only players in franchise history to have 6 multi-home run games in the first 70 games of the season. Only Babe Ruth ever did that. That's a pretty wild stat right there if you think about it. So it continues to be fun. They continue to impress, and these past 2 weeks, you could put it in cruise control a little bit, where you feel like, man, they've really given themselves a cushion here. But you want to be greedy as a fan too, and say, keep winning, man. Let's keep this pace going. Let's keep the fun. You're a Yankee fan. You haven't seen anything like this since 1998. And if you're a baseball fan, you just don't see baseball teams play at this pace. So as you mentioned, Boston's hot. They've won 8 out of their last 10. They've pulled to 8 games over 500. They've joined Toronto in second place in the division, 12 games behind the Yankees. A lot's going to be said in October. The Yankees are going for that bye. That you don't want to compete in the wild card round. That's the new playoff format. You're playing for this bye now. Looks like the Yankees are going to put themselves in a good position to get that bye, and they'll be waiting in the divisional round. And you know what? It might be Boston in that divisional round. It might be Toronto. It might be the Rays. So, regardless of what happens here on out, Yankees will probably have to beat one of these teams in the American League East when it actually matters.
I like Tampa Bay's chances if they get in the tournament, if you will, the quote unquote tournament. And number 2, if they get healthy. If they can get healthy and then get in, I like our chances to, I don't know about necessarily win it all, but at least get past the first round and advance to the second round. But that's we're thinking way too far ahead. The Rays, first of all, they have to get there.
Aaron Judge into the corner, ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. Aaron Judge with a walk-off double into the corner. An incredible comeback. Down 6-3 in the 9th inning. Aaron Hicks ties it with a 3-run home run. And Aaron Judge with the 2-out walk-off. Incredible. The 9th walk-off win in 70 games for the Yankees. Their 9th walk-off win in 2022. A season that has been incredible to this point. To beat Houston the way they beat Houston tonight with this comeback. That's the all the great wins these past couple weeks, beating the Rays and all. This is the win of the season so far. My goodness, this team is fun to watch. Yankees beat Houston 7-6. What a comeback.
You just scared the hell out of me just then. I was, I understand. It's kind of one of those things where kind of reminded me, like, we're not actually broadcasting a baseball game right now, but it's kind of one of those things where the color guy is saying something. Next thing you know, the play-by-play guy has to jump in real quick. Excuse me, there's a big play happening. So they had to jump in, and that's exactly what happened. Aaron Judge just hit a ball into the corner. That's all going to be on. That's going to be on Sports Center tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. And so we'll see how that goes. But
my goodness,
anyway,
Trent, that is the win of the year. I'm pumped up.
But as a baseball fan, and just as a sports fan, that you have to tip your cap. The Yankees are playing great baseball. They're beating up on the entire league. It's not just the Rays. It's not just the Blue Jays. It's not the American League East. They're knocking teams off from every division in the American League, and even the National League teams that they played this year. I can't wait till the Subway Series takes place coming up soon, because if the Mets remain to as hot as they are, and if the Yankees, kind of remain on their pace, or the Yankees are bound to lose some games at some point during the season, because that's baseball. You're going to run into some bad stretches. Are they showing any signs of slowing down right now? Absolutely not. But at least with their lead right now, they're giving themselves breathing room if they do have a tough stretch coming along at some point during the season. They're giving themselves room to be able to handle.
Right now, they seem to get you. Look, the team's got 51 wins. I'm watching this game. It's 6-3 in the 9th inning. You're kind of writing it off. You're like, well, you can't win them all, and You got 4 games against Houston here. We'll come back, get them tomorrow. And the Yankees are like, well, why don't we get them tonight? Boom, 3-run home run Aaron Hicks and walk-off hit Aaron Judge. I mean, my good. And they're still standing in the Bronx right now, cheering, going nuts. That's as good a win.
And not just offensively, but they have a lockdown bullpen too with Clay Holmes and Michael King and just so many others. You know, they can match up with anybody.
And one of the things that they were able to do, one of the biggest differences with this Yankee team as opposed to teams in the past is they have shored up their defense up the middle big time. And that's just been a problem with this team the past couple of years. You know, you had Gary Sanchez, who's a terrible defensive catcher, just awful. And you need someone who could play the position to win. I don't care how good you are offensively, you need to have someone who's a defensive-minded player at catcher so that he could call a good game and he could get it done behind the plate. You know, it's huge. And Yankees get rid of Sanchez. They bring in Trevino, and they got Higashioka there. You know, 2 guys that are darn good catchers, and Trevino is proving to be a clutch hitter as well. Up the middle, Gleyber Torres playing shortstop. He was terrible at the position. We all saw it. He just couldn't get it done. Over 20 errors, the whole thing. You get him back to his natural position at second base. You get Kiner Falefa at shortstop. All of a sudden, your defense is pretty good up the middle, all the way up to center field, where Aaron Judge, all of a sudden, guess what? The dude's your center fielder, and he's pretty darn good. He makes some incredible plays out there. So, and I mentioned it earlier, the Yankees to this point of the season, only 8 unearned runs are allowed, and pitching has been great, timely hitting, the whole thing. But the defense, for me, it starts with confidence on, you know, and of course you had him for half a year last year, but Rizzo at first base just solidifies that defense on the infield. And then you could get DJ LeMahieu at third, which he's great at third. It's his best position. Not to mention when Josh Donaldson is playing third base, another Gold Glove caliber fielder. So Yankees don't make a lot of mistakes on the field defensively. And another big thing that's changed for them is the aggressiveness on the base paths. You know, they do an incredible job on the bases. They were a horrible base running team last year. This year they're stealing bases. They're aggressive, hitting runs. I just told you Kiner Falefa got thrown out trying to steal second base in the 9th inning, and they still win, which was pretty amazing. And it looked like he was safe. But that's what the Yankees do this year. They're aggressive. They're going to take that extra base. They're going to risk it because, you know, maybe the benefits outweigh the risk in some of these situations. So, but when you look at a team that's 52-18 at this point, they're really not doing a whole lot wrong. You know, you really got to nitpick. And now that Aaron Hicks is playing well, Trent, I guess I have to focus on how horrible Joey Gallo is if I want to be negative.
Oh, absolutely. And then you know, you're going to be like, would you be one of those boo birds if you were in the Bronx and Joey Gallo struck out? Would you be booing him along with the other Yankee fans that are in the stands?
Hey, let me tell you something right now. Judge hit the walk-off hit, right? And it was with 2 outs in the 9th. One of those outs was a Joey Gallo strikeout. So it's a constant. The guy's terrible. There's no way he should be getting at bats in October, but we'll see.
Yeah, so it's to me it's a baseball-centric sports week this week. Oh wait, do I have to talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning? Yeah, I might as well. Unfortunately, I had to bring that up. I was I was trying to stay away from it, but no. Laying all kidding aside, Colorado is a great team, man. The Lightning are down 3-1 right now in the Stanley Cup final. The first time this postseason they've been down 3-1. They were down 3-2 to Toronto, but they came back and won that game. Won Game 6 at Amalie Arena to force the Game 7, and they played Game 7 in Toronto. That was the game that Braden Point got hurt, but the Lightning still found a way to win. And you talk about me having no nails at the end of that series. Trust me, if the Lightning can somehow get back into this series, I'm not going to have any nails on any of my fingers if it comes to that. But
that's a horribly disgusting sight. Why did you put? I see Trent with no nails left. Blood and.
Well, they call it a nail biter.
It's true.
But anyway, no, the Lightning are in a little bit of trouble. I hate to say it. I said the same thing during the New York Rangers series, because I said, oh man, the Lightning New York's too good. New York's a fantastic team. But you know what? They didn't have the playoff experience that the Tampa Bay Lightning did, and it showed. The Lightning had 9 days of rest prior to that series starting against the New York Rangers. Well, the Colorado Avalanche had a little bit more rest because they swept the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Conference Finals, whereas the Tampa Bay Lightning battled to 6 games with the New York Rangers, where they ended up having to win 4 straight to come back and win that series. And if you live and die trying to come back and win playoff series in the National Hockey League, it's going to come back to bite you at some point. But let's just look back at last night's game. Tampa Bay outshot Colorado 17-4 in the first period, but they only got 1 goal out of it. In my opinion, Colorado just looked on their heels in the first period. I mean, look, 36 seconds in, Anthony Cirelli scores a goal to make it 1-0 Lightning. You're feeling good. Tampa Bay's playing well on the 5-on-5, and then they just kind of got complacent throughout the game. Colorado ended up scoring to tie the game at 1. Then the Lightning got another goal to make it 2-1. It was kind of a back and forth affair from there. But the final goal that Colorado scored in regulation to tie the contest at 2, Andrei Vasilevsky didn't even see the puck at all, man. It just, for whatever reason, he just wasn't focused. It was just kind of a goal. It was a nice play, and it was by design by Colorado, but it was a kind of goal that Andrei Vasilevsky has normally stopped and has normally saved throughout the regular season and the postseason, and they didn't do it. And they were only playing with 5 healthy defensemen, by the way. Eric Chernak left that game with an injury. We'll see how he does in practice. The team is already up in Denver getting ready for, Game 5 tomorrow night, and Colorado could close it out on their home ice tomorrow night. You just never know. But in the grand scheme of things, Tampa Bay's penalty kill hasn't been great in this series. Colorado's been taking advantage of the power play. Colorado's been great enough on the 5-on-5 that they really didn't need the penalty. But when they have a power play, you can almost mark a goal into the scorebook, at least for this series. But look, Rich, you're seeing a step up in competition for the Lightning. The Colorado Avalanche haven't won a Stanley Cup in over 20 years. You know how bad they really want it. The Lightning also,
all the way back in the days of Patrick Waugh. I
absolutely, yeah. And you want the Lightning. The Lightning really want it. They want it bad. They want to make history. They want to go back to back to back and be the first team in over 20 years to be able to do that too. But it's gonna. My logic tells me that this series is over just because the Lightning are tired. Andrei Vasilevsky did look pretty tired on the ice last night. So did Stamkos. So did pretty much that whole front line of the Lightning. They were just tired. They've been playing nonstop, it seems like for ages. And sometimes the fatigue will catch up to you. But then it's also how deep of a team Colorado is, and how their coaching staff has gotten them prepared. And you got to tip your cap too. But I have to say, the series is not over. People have been known to come back from down 3-1 in hockey before, but my heart tells me.
Trent, we just saw the Rangers do it in the first round against the Penguins. They were down 3-1 and came back.
Right,
to win
but
that
the Penguins
series.
are not the same team as the Colorado Avalanche right now.
Well, and the Rangers aren't the same.
I don't
team
think they're on
that
the same caliber.
The Lightning are, and the Lightning are champions. And sometimes to do something special like three-peat, it has to be over the top special. So, boy, oh boy, wouldn't it be thrilling and incredible to three-peat coming back from 3 games to 1 down. You think about, I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Cleveland hadn't won a championship in a million years. I forget what it was, 40 years or something like that. And it took coming back down 3-1 in one of maybe the most incredible NBA finals I ever saw, when LeBron and the Cavaliers come back and beat the Warriors that year.
Yeah, LeBron basically carried that Cleveland team.
And for Cleveland to finally get their championship, it had to be something wild like that. So maybe for the Tampa Bay Lightning to be the first team to three-peat in the sport since the Islanders did it in the early 80s. Maybe for them to do something that special, it's going to have to be something incredible, like coming back from down 3-1. And if you just look at it from this standpoint, all you got to do is now return the favor. Colorado just won a game in Tampa. Well, now you go win a game in Colorado. And if you do that, all of a sudden you're faced with a scenario where all you got to do is win a Game 6 at home to force Game 7. To me, the way this series works is it's all about this Game 5 here. If you can somehow, and it's a tough game to win, no doubt, it's a tough spot to go into Colorado and win a Game 5 down 3-1. That is going to be a tough spot. But if they ever won that game, look at where you're at. You got Game 6 at home. So, the situation, yeah, it's dire, but you can see the road to Nirvana. You can see it. It's still possible, in my opinion.
And Nazem Kadri scored the game-winning goal in overtime for Colorado last night. And a lot of the Lightning fans were very upset, because it looked like Colorado had too many skaters on the ice. And it was clear by a lot of screenshots that were taken. And everybody was like, oh, my gosh, Colorado's completed a legal play. And people were all bent out of shape about that. And I understand. Lightning had I think they had an argument. And the NHL officials made a statement saying that, they didn't see anything. All 4 officials didn't see what was happening. So, I understand why the Lightning fans were upset. But that's not the play that made the game for the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning were complacent in both the second and third periods. They had opportunities to add on to their lead. They just didn't do it. And their just lack of puck management and their lack of play on defense really allowed Colorado to open the door and run through it and then slam the door behind them to get that win and to steal a game at Amalie Arena where Tampa Bay doesn't lose very much.
Yep. Now, you just got to get out there and return the favor. And I don't know, Trent. I get it. Sometimes it's tough to be positive when your team goes down 3-1, especially in the championship round. You've been through so much to get to this point, and you're playing a team that so talented in Colorado. And one of the shocking things to me, I believe, in the last game, in Game 4, I believe the Lightning outshot Colorado in that game. So if that's true, I would be disappointed in that if I was a Lightning, because I think you got to win that game at home. And I think they were pretty much watching Game 5. It was one game. A lot of the games have been blowouts. It really felt like both teams were so evenly matched in Game 4, which is also what makes it disappointing, I think, from a Tampa Bay perspective, because I got the feeling watching that third period that you feel that Tampa Bay should have won the game, because this series, the teams seemed so evenly matched in that game that the series should be 2-2, not 3-1.
You got that right. So I agree wholeheartedly. Should be a 2-2 series, but it's not. Give credit to Colorado. Tampa Bay's got to self-correct. They got to put it behind them. It was a very emotional defeat on Wednesday, one of their most emotional defeats for quite some time for the Lightning. But look, tomorrow night's a new night. They've got to play in Colorado, where the altitude's tough for anybody to play. But look, the altitude, you can't use that as an excuse, because if the Lightning lose, they're done. And now you have a new Stanley Cup champion.
Oh, and I'll tell you, it makes it more difficult, because when you're in the position you're in and you've won back-to-back championships, it's been a long time since you've seen your team lose. That's what happened with the late 90s Yankees. Yankees won 4 out of 5 championships, 3 in a row. When the Yankees lost Game 7 of the World Series to Arizona, it'd been over, almost 4 years since you saw the Yankees lose. I mean, it was rough, man. I was walking around in a daze for weeks after that loss, because you're just not used to it.
Because of that, like, I know most men don't usually cry over sporting events. I don't, cry over sporting events. But would you be surprised if some Lightning fans, shed a few tears if they didn't make it this year?
It's hard not to in that situation, just because you get this far, and again, you have not tasted the bitter taste of defeat in years now. All you know is winning. I think it was 19 straight series or whatever it is that the Lightning have won. You have not lost in a long, long time. And when it finally does happen, it's going to hurt. Like I said, that Yankee loss in Arizona, it was weeks, man. You'd be having a good day, and then you just think, oh shit, Yankees lost. It just pops in there and it brings you down because you haven't lost in years. It's just not a feeling you're used to.
You're right about that. So I'm hoping that we're not. But hey, yours truly very well could. Even though I usually don't cry over sporting events, this might. If we come to that point,
you have to film it, Trent. If you start crying, we need that on Super Radio highlights. We need that on Super Radio Brother highlights.
The beloved Lightning, they just got beat.
I think people crying, that would be a popular video. If you look at this guy crying about the Lightning.
No, that is to be done behind closed doors, sir. So
the offer's out there. Super Radio Media would like to get the exclusive of Trent crying over the Lightning.
Oh, I'm sure they would. I'm sure that video would go.
Our
viral.
newsroom. They're all over it. They want to be there, Trent.
Absolutely, the newsroom, and we will have microphones in that room whenever it happens. But anyway, that's pretty much a wrap on the sports. I want to save the NBA draft if possible for next week. That happened tonight, but as soon as we get everything dissected and press conferences and stuff, I want to play some audio next week from the Orlando Magic's first pick and several other things. We can analyze the draft on next week's show because the Stanley Cup Finals will, no matter if it goes to a Game 7 or not, it'll already be over by next week. So we'll have a lot more time to discuss the NBA. But in terms of that, that's pretty much the sports for this week.
It's time to sit down and unwind and listen to the Couch Report.
Ah, yes, the Couch Report. And obviously, a lot on our couches have been watching sports, but what else you got going on, Trent?
Well, I want to begin my Couch Report in an unconventional way, but someone very special to me, actually two people very special to me, are having birthdays.
You don't have to talk about me like that. Just say my name. I know I'm special to you.
Right. Well, first of all, I'm going to mention yours, but then I have another birthday I'm going to talk about. But I have to acknowledge, because you want your birthday acknowledged on the radio. You went, okay, that's Rich Carroll's.
Oh, no, you don't have to mention it, Trent, but please go on.
He's turning 28 again. Congratulations. Happy birthday, Senor Rich Carroll. On Sunday, I would be remiss if I did not mention it on the air. So I have to say to you, sir, happy early birthday.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I have a P.O. box that I'll pass on to you and everyone else as far as gifts are concerned. I'm expecting many and expensive gifts, so we'll get that information out on social media so you can get me what I deserve.
And also, while we're talking about it, too, I have to give a shout-out to one of our listeners, a very special friend of mine. Sarah is from Pennsylvania. She listens, and she's having a birthday on Tuesday, on June the 28th. So she is a very special listener to Super Radio Brothers, someone who means a great deal to me, does a lot for me, and can't really express my words, don't do my feelings of appreciation for her justice. So we thank you for who you are, Sarah, and may you have a blessed birthday, and may you be blessed with many, many more, and may all of your hopes and dreams come true. So
happy birthday, Sarah!
Exactly, yeah. Well, last year, because she remembers very well, last year you didn't hardly acknowledge her birthday because you didn't appreciate that somebody had a birthday 2 days after you. She remembers that very vividly, sir.
There's kind of like a radius of importance, I guess. And you have to. It's like an explosion. Rich's birthday was on the 26th, so birthdays aren't going to matter again until around July 10th, I think. Then they start to, because you got to give my birthday some room to breathe, and be important.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's insane. But no, it's
that's insane. Some people would say that about me. Yes, thank you, Trent.
Yeah, that's insane. But anyway, wish both of you a happy birthday, Rich, and of course, my dear friend Sarah, who listens all the way from Pennsylvania. So happy birthday to you both. I had to do this because I had to do it.
Appreciate
it. But anyway, we are on the couch report right now. Still trying to stay as active as I can. Still watching a little bit of TV here and there. I've been listening to more music these days. I'm on a music kick right now. Ever since I went to see Paul McCartney last month, so I spent a lot of my time listening to music. I'm getting ready to start the Get Back documentary. Rich, I know that's been out for a little while, but it's starting to come out.
Peter Jackson, right? He directed that.
Yes, he did. So I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to start the Get Back documentary. Get Back's a great song by the Beatles.
Get back, get back to where you once belong. Right. That was good.
Absolutely. And
the same. I know I'm good.
And one of the directors of the Get Back documentary also had the different thing on the stadium jumbotron when Paul McCartney played in Orlando. He had John Lennon kind of singing a duet to him on the screen, and he set that up. So I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. But congrats! So that's I'm looking forward to really watching that and hearing the all the behind the scenes of that for sure. Other than that, I've just been kind of hanging out outside, enjoying the outdoors, trying to stay warm because that's what we have to do. Doing a lot of swimming, Rich. In the summertime, I am a swimmer. I love hanging out in the water, doing that. Haven't had a chance to go fishing as of late. I do like to go fish every now and then. That's really cool. Do that with my grandfather, TJ. He likes to fish every now and then, but I haven't had a chance to go lately. Hoping to go soon. But other than that, besides my life of working and watching TV whenever I can, and of course watching sports, it's pretty much what's happening with me. Other than that, how about you? What do you got going?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of things going on. We did get a chance to go out and see the latest Jurassic World movie, and I'll save most of my review for the video. I want you guys to check it out. It's coming up. It's going to be available on YouTube real soon, and I got a nice surprise for you, so I think you'll enjoy it. Please check it out. But I will say this. I think that I saw on Rotten Tomatoes, latest Jurassic Park got about a 30% from critics, so not really being treated kindly by critics. And I wasn't the biggest fan of this whole trilogy. I'm more of a fan of the original Jurassic Park. I haven't liked the storyline so much here. But I will say this. I thought for a third movie, it was a good end to the trilogy and very fun as a fan to see Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum come back and reprise their roles. So that alone, I think, made it a really awesome kind of send-off for the series, because I would think this is going to be it for a while, at least for Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. So we did get a chance to get out and check that out. That was a lot of fun. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks here as far as the astronomy is concerned, where I haven't really been able to get out. And last night, actually, there was a really clear sky. It was a beautiful night. It was a great experience, really, because a couple of nights I've tried during the summer, it's making me start to realize that there's a lot of comfort in the winter. It's hard in the summer, man, because it's hot out there at nighttime and you're battling mosquitoes and a lot of different things that just make it difficult to view in the summertime. But, man, last night the skies were clear. There was a breeze. It was cool out. It was an absolute perfect night. And I got out there with the telescope, my 12-inch Dobsonian, and, took in Messier 13, the Great Hercules globular cluster, which is a showpiece object that I have to check out. And I got my awesome new 5mm X Celestron eyepiece that I could really get deep into that globular cluster, and it's super cool. So spent some time, found M92, another globular cluster. Second time I've looked at it, that was really cool too. Then I get to the Ring Nebula, planetary nebula, which I talked about before. Second time I get to look at that, which was cool. And then it's just I knew later on in the night the Cygna constellation, which is maybe one of the coolest constellations I've seen here early in my amateur astronomy career. That's been a couple years now. But this constellation is cool. It definitely looks like a bird. And I wanted to find M27 within it, which is another planetary nebula. It's called the Dumbbell Nebula because it looks like a dumbbell. And I think I'm getting good at this because, again, I found M27, the Dumbbell Nebula, my second planetary nebula, which is, again, is basically a dead star. It's a red giant that has dissipated into a white dwarf, basically about the size of the Earth, but with the mass of the sun, and it illuminates this great cloud in space. So you're looking at basically a dead star. And I found the Dumbbell Nebula. I was so proud of myself and kind of just stood there looking at it through every different magnification I have, and just really proud of myself on that front. So cool to get a clear night and check all that out. And that's about it, really, man. Like you said, a lot of sports. Enjoyed the NBA Finals recently. For the first time in years, because the Rangers were successful this year, it's kind of caught me a little more locked into the Stanley Cup Finals right now. So because I really haven't paid attention in years, but and part of that is, you know, your team is in it, so it gives me some interest. So I've been watching that, and man, and the Yankees, you know, I've been completely obsessed and absorbed with the season that they've had so far and locked in. And for them to win the way they did tonight, this first game against Houston, while we're on the air on the Super Radio Brothers, Trent, was just another incredible night here, 2022 of Yankee baseball. And that's really what's been going on with me. Like I said, there's a lot of shows coming up that we're going to be checking out, and keep an eye out, Trent. I want you to keep an eye out, Trent, for my Jurassic World video. That's coming out real soon.
Okay, I'll take a listen, for sure. And hey, what a great show. We did it.
We did it. I thought I would die before we got to the end, but I made it, Trent. I made it.
I know. I almost fell asleep a couple times, but we got there.
I know. I'm not a very fun guy to be around. I get it. It's okay. But I'm glad you try.
Absolutely. We always try.
In the words of Bob Dylan, time is an ocean, but it ends at the shore. The Super Radio Brothers have reached the shore. See ya!
Bye, y'all.